One of the things I like the most about that I did enjoy the most about Black Hawk Down, because I understand that they did take some pretty good pains at getting military like instructors and kind of spokespeople and consultants on board to help them kind of recreate like the battle sequences that they had. I
Yep.
know that they shot the whole movie, I believe, in Morocco. They had redone over some city sections in Morocco to kind of emulate what Mogadishu looked like at the time. But just in terms of the like what they did with the actual combat sequences, I think this is kind of like the Saving Private Ryan effect that they enjoyed from that movie too. Is they brought a bunch of people in, and it looks like they put them through their paces to actually train them up on how they're supposed to move and speak and handle their weapons. And because if you look at movies today, even crappy action movies today or crappy war movies from today, there seems to be an elevated respect for like the art form of mimicking combat, where like if you go back and you watch older war movies from like the 60s 70s and into some of the 80s, it's just dudes flailing around doing stuff they couldn't do with weapons, holding them the wrong way, no trigger discipline, stuff like that. But these guys here, like whenever they jump out of the column because they got to set up a perimeter because they're going to take in more wounded or they have to hold a spot. Like these guys, they disembark their vehicles, they set up their positions, like they're snapping weapons nice and clean. Like you can see that there's effort put into the production there. And I
Oh
just want to
yeah.
know, like, because you've done this, like, is that a yay or a nay, or am I just like looking at it all rosy goggle because it just looks better than old stuff? Like, what do you think about that?
No, no. A lot of times when they do these type of movies, first off, you will have a military coordinator on set
Yeah,
who helps you with a lot of make things look right, how people do things. I've served as one before on a film, but from what I've heard on this one is that the people who played Rangers actually went to Fort Benning for a 1 week Ranger familiarization course. The
yeah,
people who played the Deltas, they went to Fort Bragg for a 2 week Special Forces warfare training, and then all the pilots went to Fort Campbell where 160 SOAR is, Special Operations Aviation Regiment,
yeah.
and they actually sat down on how things actually go on a helicopter and sat through a lecture of Mike O'Durnett, the captured pilot from the movie.
Yeah.
So they actually heard from the actual guy. Like I forgot who played him. Let me go look real quick. Who actually played him?
While you're looking for that, I'm just going to add right into that exact thing. That's kind of what I was saying with the Saving Private Ryan connection. Is those guys might not have done, like top tier one operator school, but like the cast was very wisely thrown into a simulated basic training program so they could build that camaraderie and understand what the life was like. And they left Matt Damon out of it. That way, when they finally brought him in to shoot, they all fucking hated him
Yeah.
because he wasn't there in the muck with them because he didn't have to go through it, which I thought was
Yep.
hilarious. But that's
So
just good thinking. That's good directing. You have the
yeah,
pilot.
yeah. Ron Eldard played
Yeah.
Mike Durant.
Yeah. So you're vouching for how they actually produced some of these combat sequences with the tactics the Rangers used and how Delta was deployed in those contexts to like destroy avionics, provide air cover, all that kind of stuff is kind of fairly authentic.
Yeah, and also the military actually provided the helicopters from 160 SOAR for this.
Oh, nice, 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 cool. So for you then, right, in a movie full of gut punching emotional scenes where guys are taking hits, losses, they're taking gruesome wounds at various points. The RPG threw the Humvee door into the guy's midsection. I totally forgot about that when I was like, oh my god, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
It's no joke. But I'm wondering which of those scenes, and I think besides Jamie Smith's death, like that we had already talked about there at that Dark Night of the Soul part, which of the scenes in this movie hit you the hardest? Like if we were recommending to folks, like if you really want to get into the nitty gritty of like a contemporary war movie, like what hit the hardest for you?
actually, it wasn't when one of them died. It was the when they were at the casualty collection point with
I know
Captain
exactly what
Steele,
you're gonna say.
and
Yep.
the guy is there, and he's like, "We have to get out of there." And he's like, "You need a." He's like, "Take your weapon." And he's like, "Anyone comes through that door?" And he's like, "I'm still in the fight, sir. I'm still in the fight."
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. That was his boy. That was Ruiz. Yep.
yeah,
That was
that's
Francisco Ruiz.
yep,
He says, anybody come around that corner, you give him two in the chest, one in the head.
the head,
Yep.
yeah. He said, I'm still in the fight.
Awesome stuff.
And then at the end, when he goes sees him when he's in the medical tent.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't you go back out there without me. Even though he's laid up on a thing.
He's dying. Like when Steele looks at the medic behind him, the medic shakes his head. Like he's not expected to get out of there. I don't. Yeah. And he's listed in the KIA section in the credits at the end of the movie. But dude, that dude was all balls, 100% balls. Don't go back out without me. And my scene to contrast with that is the one where the column gets its ass kicked. They go back to base to kind of re-up and go back out. Mm-hmm. And we got the one kid's like, I can't go back out there. And I don't remember the senior officer or whatever, how the ranks work.
NCO. He was an NCO.
And
he was an officer.
The one guy's like, listen, we all feel the same way as you do. It's what you do right now that determines, like who you are kind of thing. But, whether you go back out or not, it's your own decision. The kid's kind of mulling it over. And then right behind him comes like the other dude that's got a fucking arm cast on, right? Yeah. And the same dude's like, whoa, where are you going? Right? He's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going out. And he goes, not with that thing on your arm. It takes that kid all of 3 seconds to get the knife out like he's going to cut the cast off. And then the NCO, she's like, all right, fuck it, get in the fucking truck. We're going to go. Yeah. And then the other kid that was kind of scared to go back out takes a puff on the inhaler as the NCO, the music's swelling. NCO's looking at him in the rear view, puffs the inhaler, and he's like, hold on, I'm coming. Moving stuff. I texted my brother right when that scene happened. I'm like, dude, see, I don't care how old you get. I don't care how cheesy that might be. Like there are men that brave that kind of shit. It just is. It is how it is, and there's nothing to take away from that. It can't be.
I think in the scene here that we're about to play, really says it all about the mindset of these type of soldiers.